gorgeous. Good
Don't
morning,
start.
Baltimore.
Don't start. He knows that Mary song, and I have a connection.
Good morning, Baltimore. We are here live.
Yes.
WEAA 88.9. The campus is on the University of Morgan State.
Yes.
But we
Good
got
old
a special.
MSU.
We got a special guest in the house.
Yeah.
My man, sitting tall in the saddle. My brother wrote a book, great book, Almost Famous. The author we have in here named Dwayne Cooli Hyde Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
My man.
No hand claps.
Welcome, my guy.
Good morning. Good morning,
All right.
everybody. How y'all doing?
Good. We're great,
what's up.
man.
That's
Now,
what's up.
now, listen. This book, Almost Famous. If I could just read, because I'm reading here, and it
Right.
says, loyalty, betrayal, kidnapping, and questionable murder, mixed with bright lights, money, women, personal relationships, sacrifices, failure, and success, all are pertinent ingredients in the pot of gumbo I refer to as my life.
Yeah.
Definitely makes you want to check that out.
Well, what's happening?
This is ugly truth. How I almost became famous.
We know you can't give it all away, but give us a taste, man, of the gumbo. What is going on?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me, guys. But
Yes.
the book is called Almost Famous. It's the book about my life. For those who don't know, back in 2001, I was featured on Cisco's first single, a song called "Can I Live." I was rapping on that joint, produced by Teddy Riley.
Yes.
But the book is basically talking about everything from the beginning of my childhood all the way up, trying to get a record deal. Everybody's dream, when you're a rapper, of course, trying to get a record deal, finally scoring a record deal. I was actually signed to RCA Records, got a $2 million record deal with them in 2001 as well. And the whole Cisco thing, the whole journey, trying to get it, getting it, losing it, and then trying to get it back.
Right.
And all the personal in between. So I left nothing out. I put it all in the book.
So when did you know you wanted to rap? When did that start?
That started at an early age. That started, I feel like I'm leaving the mic every time I turn my head left and right.
Yeah, just speak.
That started at an early age. I guess when I was maybe about 10 years old.
Really?
Well, it was Crush Groove, the whole Run DMC era, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm old school with it, you know what I'm saying? So Crush Groove did it for me, and once I saw Crush Groove, it was a rap.
It was on.
It
And you're
was
West
on.
Baltimore, born and raised, right?
Yes, West Baltimore, born and raised, Brighton Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it, man. I'm really ready to get into this book. I mean, you know how to put a description on there that really
Yeah, he
It's all
showed
fair,
me.
it's all fair, it's all fair. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
nothing incriminating.
Not anymore.
Right.
Not anymore
He
because
made sure it's a statute of limitations.
well, some things like, for example, when people hear the questionable murder thing, right? So just to give you a brief story out of the book, that actually happened in Angola in Africa.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, we were over there, and me and Cisco, we was over there doing a tour. And over in Africa, they have totally different laws and totally different everything over there, especially in Angola. The first time we went to Johannesburg, and that was beautiful, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then we came back home, and then we went to Angola. And a friend of mine told me, like, look, you might want to research what part of Africa you're going to, because everything is not like Johannesburg. But I wasn't really on it like that. I'm like, I'm trying to get this paper. I'm chasing it. So I just
Right.
went over there, and it was like third world country over there, So what happened was they don't have like traffic lights or any type of rules on how to drive and how to govern their streets. And we were with our driver, and we're driving through this village like doing 1,000,000 miles an hour, and a guy ran in the middle of the street, and we ran him over.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And so when we ran, we it was crazy, but we ran him over, and it was a very horrific scene, because we dragged him for like almost a block. It was just
my
crazy.
goodness, sir.
But the crazy part of the story is I was with three of the dancers and a driver, and we had an interpreter in the car. Cisco's car was in front of me, and he had already sped off because we were following each other. So Cisco and my buddy Charles, they were gone, in the wind.
You wrong.
Right.
He got out.
And so our driver pulled over to go look at the body. And when he got out the car, the village just swarmed the car. Somebody reached in the car and turned the key, took the key out and left. So it was me, 2 dancers in the back, and our interpreter in the front. So then our interpreter, because they spoke Portuguese over there, we had to keep an interpreter everywhere we went. He got up to go look at the body. So now it's just me and the 3 dancers in the car. And then all of a sudden, the whole village just swarms the car and just beating on the window like boom, 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 boom with sticks and rocks. And I'll stop there. I'll leave the rest of the story.
Wow,
it's in the book, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it got crazy. I didn't think I was going to make it back.
So how did you end up connecting with Cisco?
I met Cisco through a buddy of mine by the name of Mouse. He's actually Cisco's cousin. His mother and Cisco's mother are identical twin sisters. Oh. And me and Mouse we were in a group called Shock Trauma. You know, hip hop group. You know, doing our thing around Baltimore City. And Cisco is younger than him. He used to always say, "Man, I got a cousin that sing, but he always trying to sound like Jodeci all the time." You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, who is this cousin you keep talking about? You know what I'm saying? So time kept going and going and going. Before you know it, like, hey, my cousin, they just got a single deal. They singing a song called "Tell Me," and I'm like, "Tell me." And then before you know it, the train gets to rolling, and then you know this little cousin that he was talking about sounding like Jodeci wound up being Cisco.
Wow!
It turned out like that, yeah.
You have all these stories to tell, and the book is available at Walmart, Amazon, BarnesandNobles.com, at authordwaynejones.com. But publishing a book isn't necessarily easy.
Right.
I wanted to know, besides, you know, people always say, wow, you got so many stories, you should write a book. So I'm sure you got that a lot. Right. But who were the people that were instrumental in actually bringing that to fruition with you actually publishing, becoming a published author?
One guy that stood out was a guy named Corey Grant. He's actually movie director out in LA right now. So he told me all the time, he used to listen to my music and a lot of my hip hop songs, I used to always tell stories. And he used to say, "Man, your stories are so vivid in your songs. You should think about writing a book." But this was like years ago. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying to write no book. I'm trying to get to this rap, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, as the rap, you know, fizzled down and things died down and things got quieter, I was like, you know what, let me revisit this whole situation about writing this book. And my wife's friend, her husband, Max Fortune, just so happened to be a publisher. And so one day we were out eating dinner. He was like, "Hey, I publish." And I'm like, "I'm writing a book." So it all came together. So I went through his company, Fortune Publishing, and got it done.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was a good dinner.
Oh, yeah, good dinner. Right, absolutely.
So what made you decide to actually write the book? And what was the process like? Like, how did you just write down your thoughts, different scenarios that happened in your life, and then just strung it together? Like, how did the process happen?
Exactly. You hit it right on the head. Basically, what I did was I started from the beginning. When I say the beginning, I'm talking about when I was born. You know, when you see this book, it looks like a textbook. You know, my publisher actually, Max, he told me, say, "Hey, man, this book is too big." You know what I mean? Like this, you wrote 4 books in one. And he wanted me to cut it down, but I had to go on my Kanye and was like, I don't know if it's appropriate to say Kanye these days, but you know, but
of course you can.
I don't know, man. Hey. But I stuck to it. I was like, hey, this is gonna have to be what it is, no matter how thick it is, because when you see it, it's like a brick. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted it because, like I tell everybody, I don't want to die. And what I mean by that is that, of course, we all physically die one day, but I wanted my story to live on forever, you know, for my legacy, my kids, their kids, my great-grandkids. They'll be able to look at this book and know everything from the beginning to the end, you know.
The whole thing.
It took 3 years to write this book.
Now, assistance with, because this makes me, of course, ask about editing. Did you have someone assist with consolidating your thoughts, or kind of, I know you weren't taking the pressure with you know, dummying down or breaking it down, but at least some help with consolidating or with editing?
Well, yes and no, because my publishing company, Max Fortune, he did an edit on the book, but we came to an agreement, whereas he would do part and I would do part. So I essentially edited it myself. Like, you know, well, he did an edit first, and then I had to read the entire book over again and to make sure that I caught everything and kind of like, you know, circled what
quality control.
Right, and made sure everything was in place. But yeah, between me and Max, we got it done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this.
I know. It sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
So tell us what it was like. So you were actually with Drew Hill. You were with Cisco.
Right. Big difference.
And this was when Cisco was like at his height, when he was when he first went solo.
Well, I got my deal when he was okay. So I've been knowing Cisco since the beginning. Not the Tell Me album. I met him right after the Tell Me album, blew, and they were, out of here. I met them during the, I believe, Into the Drew, the second album, I believe that was the name of it, and that's when I, got aboard. But I was still trying to get on with him. He was like, who is this guy? I don't know him. So I kept getting pushed to the side, shoved to the side, and so I was trying and trying and trying. Of course, they went through the whole Drew Hill, and then he wound up doing the Thong Song album. That's when he just blew out of this world.
Right.
And that right then and there, I said, everything is going to on a pause in my life because I put everything aside because I figured my ticket is right here. It wasn't nothing bigger than Cisco at that time. And I had access to him. You know what I'm saying? So I just dialed in, and it's a crazy story. It wasn't easy, getting his attention and getting him to rock with me, but eventually he did. But by the time I actually got on with him and got the deal with RCA, because I was in a group called the Associates, it was 4 of us. A guy named Kid, a lot of people in the city know him, and Make It Hot, of course, and my man Mr. Butch. But we got signed to RCA. Cisco did us good. He didn't sign us to his production company and then signed us to RCA. He signed us. We went directly to RCA.
So what was the advantage of that for people who may not understand what that means?
Okay, so when a lot of artists that are big, they'll make a production company. So let's say, for example, if Cisco would have signed us directly to us, like Dragon Records / RCA, what RCA would do was they would give the entire budget to him.
Right.
The $2 million, whatever it is, and they'll give it to him, and he would decide what we got and how it would work. Because essentially, we're assigned to him, and he has to deal with RCA, but he didn't play the middleman, which I thank him greatly for that. He sent us straight to RCA.
Right. That's a good look.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he could have easily did it, and we would have done it. What I'm saying? Of course, you know what I'm saying. But he didn't go that route. And that was big ups to Cisco.
So, who are some of the more famous people? Not more famous than Cisco, but famous people that you actually met, and what was it like to encounter these people?
Let's see. I met Jay-Z a few times, but see. When I say these names, right, I'm saying these names in the 2001 time. So they're not who they are now. You know what I'm saying? But, they are still who they are. I met Jay-Z, I met Beyonce. Well, she was in Destiny's Child at the time, the entire Destiny's Child. Nelly and his whole crew at the time, Bow Wow, Beanie Siegel. We were actually all on a tour together. Who else? Alicia Keys, Luther Vandross, kind of almost everybody that was popping at that time. You know what I'm saying? Met Usher. It wasn't a great encounter with him, but
is this in the book?
Yes, it's actually in the book. Yeah, it's in the
so
book.
He was one of the few people that really wasn't that cool, really?
Well, actually, he was cool, but at the time, him and Cisco had some friction, you know what I'm saying? So it was crazy during that time.
It's in the book.
It's in the book, yeah. It wasn't. I'm sure they're cool now, but actually the beef wasn't even really between the two. It was like situational beef,
Cisco, you know how that happens.
Yeah, Cisco was trying to get a point across to his record company, and he used Usher as an example. But it just got a little out of control. But it's cool now. But yeah, at the time when we met Usher, when I met Usher, it wasn't on good terms.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. Victims of circumstance. Well, look, the book Almost Famous is out now, an autobiography by Dwayne Cooli High Jones. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it Barnes & Nobles, Walmart. You can search Dwayne Jones, and you can also log on authordwaynejones.com. But get into this tale of, or true story of loyalty, betrayal, kidnapping, questionable murder, bright lights, money, and more. Murder and mayhem. And it's all a true story from our guy, Dwayne Cooli High Jones. We appreciate you coming by, brother.
Thanks.
We just want to support what you're doing.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me, y'all.
And you did a good job because you definitely have us intrigued.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we could go on with this interview for another hour because there's so many questions, a lot of stuff to ask. But we want people to go and read the book and they'll get these answers. So
absolutely.
Great job, man. And congratulations, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, it's in the book Almost Famous by Dwayne Cooli High Jones. And don't forget, Election Day is November 8th. Make sure you tune in all day for election coverage and updates by our student reporters right here on 88.9 FM and WEAA.org, the voice of the community.